So here we are on our way into what was once known as North River Depot, Caribou Air Force Station, Site E, Site Easy. This is East Loring, where we had the nuclear weapons storage area starting in the 50s. Right now we're moving north along the east side of Loring to get to it. Ahead of us is the traditional entrance to this area. At this point it's been gated off by the Wildlife Refuge Service, and they've built a way around. In the background you can see some of it. You can see the original gate up there. So now we're headed into the weapons storage area on the path that the Wildlife Refuge Service wants you to go on. The path as it used to be was straight ahead of us, as I said before, and most likely because of birds and that kind of stuff, nesting areas and whatever, they have diverted us to go around the way that people used to go in. Now we're coming into what they used to call the Q area. The reason it's called the Q area is because that was the clearance you needed to get in here. You can see some of the bunkers ahead of us in the maintenance shop directly ahead of us now. And you can see that the main gate into this, people would come from the left through that gate to get into this Q area. And as we just listened to C Garbinski talk, there were 4 fences around this place. 4. Typically it was 3. The reason there were 4 here is because of the remoteness of the spot and the proximity to Canada. So he just told us about this area, the Caribou Air Force Station. He said it actually had 2 versions. The first version had half as many igloos. When they developed the hydrogen bomb or the thermonuclear bombs, they decided that they could put the new igloos between the old igloos because the new igloos had to be longer than the old. So there's twice as many igloos here as there were in the original station. And again, the doubling occurred when they had to put in new igloos for the hydrogen thermonuclear bombs. And then he also talked about how an atomic bomb is the primary bomb in a thermonuclear bomb. That's the one that basically gets the bomb going as far as a thermonuclear. And that tritium, radioactive gas, is used to boost the yield. And if you look down there to the left, you're going to see those 2 bunkers with vents on top that house the tritium. So anyway, we're getting out for our 3rd stop. So now we just had our 3rd stop. We looked at an atomic bomb enclosure and a thermonuclear bomb enclosure. The thermonuclear bomb enclosures have a vestibule where there's 2 sets of doors, the outer doors, and then you walk maybe 12 feet through the 2nd set of doors. They have a pipe on the top that vents out to the area over the door. Talked about how the structures are narrowest on the top, so that if there's a high explosive explosion, it would blow things out the top and not the sides and front. The doors were sunken to the ground to take the blast that would happen not from the nuclear explosion, but from a high explosive explosion, which was part of getting the nuclear explosion going. And he talked about tritium and how if there was a leak, they had sensors that would detect them, and people would have to suit up and go figure out where the leak was coming from and get it stopped and that kind of stuff. No one wanted to breathe that stuff. Anyway, now we're headed to where they stored the tritium, and over there on the left you can see the original vamp house, where they stored the plutonium pits in their bird cages, and they were later replaced by the same building for all practical purposes, but it was buried up to what looks like the second floor. In reality, the second floor is just all concrete, and those are fake windows. They wanted it to look like an office building from the air kind of stuff. So we just got done talking about the vamp building and the tritium initiators or boosters, and so they had some pillboxes there. Some people had thought maybe they got into those from underground, but they got into those from on top. And they'd have Browning rifles. They had some foxholes on the opposite side of the road, where they would be there with machine guns. And he said that that building, the use of it stopped when they developed sealed plutonium canisters kind of stuff. So this building over on the left looks somewhat like the building we were just at, only it's covered on the first floor by ground. He's going to talk about that next, as well as this building on the, I did say right, didn't I? Maybe I said left, but it should have been right. The building on the left is where they did a lot of working. It was like maybe the garage of this area. So the building we just went by to the right is the replacement for the A building. They found out when they tested the atomic Annie, which has only been shot once, using an atomic bomb, that there was susceptibilities to the original building, and this new building was basically put underground. It was very much like the old A building, but first the vaults are underground and that kind of stuff, and so that's what that was for. It was because of the atomic Annie test. This building on the left was the old shop. That's where they basically worked on the weapons and put them together and maintained them and that kind of stuff. So now we're leaving what was the Q area. Down here we would have been going through fences, and that is how things look today at the former Caribou Air Force Station, North River Depot, Site E or Site EZ, and quite an amazing history.